This program is designed to provide general information with regards to the subject matters covered. This information is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, sponsors, or station are engaged in rendering any specific and personal, medical, financial, legal, counseling, professional service, or any advice. You should seek the services of competent professionals before applying or trying any suggested ideas.
Hello, and thank you for tuning in to A Sharp Outlook on K4HD Radio and Talk or TV. I am Angela Sharp, your host. Our armchair discussions with industry experts will give you the steps, tools, and information to be successful in business and to prepare you to be your best self. Hello, I'm Angela Sharp, and thank you for joining A Sharp Outlook. And today we want to talk about sales growth. And you know what? Sales growth is connected to good, winning customer service. So let's talk about customer service today. In today's fiercely competitive world, customer service is key to growth and profits. Knowing how to retain customers, build a presence and market share, and improve worker performance. Customer service is the assistance of an organization offers to its customers before or after they buy or use products or services. The thing is having good customer service. When was the last time a sales representative offered a recommendation to you? And what about the customer service phone line? Do you cringe? I do. Knowing you have to talk with an AI bot answering service that asks you questions not related to your issue. And then it refuses to transfer your call to a live person unless you go through all of these questions and all of these issues, and you actually have to go through these things because this AI is only trained for 3 different issues, but yours is outside of that problem. Hey guys, how about you fix that? My guest is an expert in the area of customer service, and he will tell us all how to empower employees, increase productivity, and successfully improve customer satisfaction. Service Quality Institute, SQI, is a training program to teach the entire workforce the art of superior customer service. And in these times, we really do need superior customer service. How do we lead a customer-driven workforce? Well, John is here to give us the secrets of real customer satisfaction that activates return customers, that give out referrals to friends and acquaintances. Sometimes there needs to be an attitude adjustment to be the best in customer service. And John will explain what this is and how to get a winning customer service team. My guest today is John Scholl, internationally recognized customer service speaker. John is the founder of the Service Quality Institute, SQI, offers various programs to train you how to close more deals and build customer relationships, provide training videos to teach the entire workforce the art of superior customer service. SQI offers programs for managers so they can learn how to lead a customer-driven workforce. SQI offers programs for employees to help them understand the behaviors and attitudes needed to be successful in leading cutting-edge service skills and build employee morale and develop teamwork. John has written 8 books to teach the tricks of the trade and help develop you in customer service representative and repeat customer referrals. And that's exactly what we need. The best customers are the ones that have been told by their friends, hey, you want to shop there. John would help you learn how to cut costs, eliminate waste, increase productivity, improve quality and customer satisfaction, and boost morale. There are certifications and diplomas in his customer service program, and I recommend it highly. I would like to invite John to join us today.
Hi, Angela. Great to be with you.
Yeah, it's good to see you again. I tell you, in these times right now, we definitely need your expertise to help these businesses
Customer service seems to get worse every day.
every day. Like I said, they have those AI bots, and oh, I'm pulling my hair out while I'm on the phone because it only knows three questions. And if your issue's not within those three questions, you're just screaming and screaming, agent, agent, agent. And it's like, no, I can help you. No, you can't. And this goes on and on. And I mean, major companies are still using this as a means to what? Bring about customer satisfaction? I don't think so. So we want to know more about
So,
what we need to be doing for customer service.
Angela, about 20 or 30 years ago, the U.S. firms started outsourcing their call centers to India.
Right.
And I thought that companies that did that were on a suicide watch. Well, today, companies are using AI, large companies, to avoid talking to their customers. And I think they're also on another suicide
Mm-hmm.
watch. So I've always worked at a real simple concept. And it was 1979, where most of our viewers were probably born. I saw companies spending a fortune on marketing, trying to bring people to their place of business. And as the customer walked through the door, we would issue baby, hit the customer on the head as hard as we could. We're doing the same thing today. And my concept was that if you treat the customer like a king or a queen, like royalty, they'll come back, they'll give you a lot of money, and they'll bring their friends. That's the concept that I built my business on. And I
Mm-hmm.
released Feelings, which was the world's first customer service training program, in January of 1980. Companies that used our programs had dramatic increases in sales, not small increases, dramatic increases. We
Mm-hmm.
took $1 billion companies and had 20% increases in sales. And it's so whether you're a company with 3 employees or 30 employees or 3,000 employees, the easiest way to increase sales is to serve every customer, whether they be online, on the phone, in person, treat them like royalty. Now, here's the problem we face, Angela. All the employees that we hire, 100%, have virtually never been trained on customer service.
Right.
There's no high school that teaches anybody anything on customer service. There's no college. There's no vocational school. Okay. So all these employees you have, we expect them to be good at customer service. And what our method of training is, we say, Angela, I just need you to be really good at customer service. You know what I mean, don't you? And
Yes.
that's how we train our staff.
Uh-huh.
And the result is the employees have never seen great service.
Right.
Most employees experience hell every day. And the less money you make, the worse customer service is.
Yeah.
So if you're the CEO and you're making $1 million a year, and I'm sure we don't have any of them listening right now, they don't do anything. They have staff that handles everything for them. Everything is greased all the way through. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
they don't really know how bad it is. And so the difficulty is that our total workforce has never been trained on how to deliver great customer service. And
Mm-hmm.
the easiest way to increase sales, and I'm talking about dramatic increases in sales,
Yes.
is to teach
Yes.
your staff the skills and the art of customer service. Now, if you wanted to go to engineering school because you wanted to be an engineer, would you go to college and take one class and become an engineer? If you wanted to be a nurse, would you go to nursing school and take one class? And now I'm a nurse. Okay.
Mm-mm.
So there's a curriculum. Well, we have a curriculum too where you can keep building and developing these skills. So instead of just taking one little course on customer service, uh, I would encourage you to take a whole variety of courses. And my
Mm-hmm.
recommendation is that you should take a new course on customer service every 4 months at the minimum. And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and the other thing, if you want to make more money and you want to invest, I suggest you read one book a month on success, customer service, management, leadership, sales. Um, one book a month for the rest of your life.
Yes.
Now, I believe if you do that, you will increase your income more than $1,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
So the return is very high. Um, since I was probably 21 or 22 years old, I have personally invested at least $1,000 a year in
Mm-hmm.
personal development.
Mm-hmm.
College used to be the ticket that got you in the door.
Right.
Today, I think most of what you learn in college is kind of irrelevant, and they're never going to teach anything on customer service. Uh, so if you want to increase your income, the only thing that prevents you from doing that is your mind.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I was reading an
And
article.
I believe
Oh.
that you need to remove. So most of us, Angela, have a ceiling of cement about 7 feet thick over our heads, and they prevent us from dreaming. They prevent us from accomplishing what we're capable of doing.
Right.
So what we need to do is remove that ceiling. Okay, and so everybody can afford to spend $25 a month on buying a book.
Mm-hmm.
Now, personally, I like to hardcover all the key ideas. I date the book that I read it. I grade the book from an A+ to a C or a D. I dump all the C and D books and the F books, and I'll leave them laying around so somebody else can pick them up. But I don't want them in my library. So it's easy for people to achieve more, to accomplish more, if they build themselves from within. And
Mm-hmm.
our mind is the most important asset we have. Elon Musk thinks differently than all of us. He
Right.
is like the in the atmosphere. I mean, he is ingenious. Okay, he puts his pants on one leg at a time,
Mm-hmm.
just like all of us. Okay,
Yes.
he just thinks differently,
Mm-hmm.
and so if we want to increase sales, it could be that we're a one-person operation and we just want to increase our income. So if you put me into any job, I'll bet you that I would, within 3 months, be the highest paid person.
Hmm.
So if you made me a bellman at a hotel, you made me a reservation agent, you made me a waiter or a waitress, uh, you know, Uber driver,
Mm-hmm.
um, I'll bet you that within 3 months, I'm one of the top earners. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and I would be making double or what everybody else is making.
Right. Right.
So it's not that I'm. By the way, I shouldn't maybe tell your listeners this, but when I went to college, when I graduated in 1969, I had the lowest grade point average of anybody in my class.
Hmm.
I just make more money than anybody I graduated with.
Mm-hmm.
See, it's what you do with your mind. I've always
Right.
been, since I was like 21 or 2 years old, been focusing on personal development,
Mm-hmm.
building myself,
Right.
and that's what I would like your viewers to do. When I first started, I got into I got a percent raise after 6 months,
Mm-hmm.
and I decided I was going to quit 1 week after they gave me the raise and go into business for myself. And they gave me a 20%. I quit a week later. They were furious at me. And then I went into business myself, selling personal development programs. And my gross income for the first 6 months was $650. Now, this is 1970,
Mm-hmm.
1971. And, I my previous job, I was paid $1,000 a month,
Mm-hmm.
um, which, if you went back, what is that, 50 some years ago, that's a lot of fairly good money. Then you go to $100 a month. That's a hell of a drop. So I was starving to death. I was failing, and so I read every book I could find on sales
Mm-hmm.
because I needed to learn how to sell. I didn't know how to sell.
Right.
I
Right.
found out I knew more about sales than anybody else afterwards, and I started teaching sales. Um,
Yeah.
but what I did is I said, you're either going to and go work for somebody, or you're going to change and start making some money. And the
Right.
fear of going to work for somebody scared the hell out of me. And then
Mm-hmm.
I started to produce, and then
Right.
a couple years later, I was among the top producers in the world for Success Motivation Institute, and Paul Meyer was my mentor,
Mm-hmm.
and I was there were only two people they said that asked him how to make money because he was extremely financially successful. And I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to be a millionaire. And at age 21, 22, net worth was $2,170. And
Mm.
my goal was to be a millionaire by age 30, which I did. And Paul taught me how to make money. And
Mm-hmm.
I listened to him, and then I implemented what he told me.
Right.
One of the things all of us should do is to find successful people that can teach us additional things that we can do, and then
Right.
and secondly, give them feedback on how your progress is going. So
Right.
I've had a lot of people that ask me for advice. Maybe not a lot of people, a few people. They never get back to you, and they never implement what you told them to do.
Right.
So I
Oh,
find that when it comes to money, people don't seem to need more money. I don't know why.
I don't think that they don't need more money. I think they don't want to put the energy in to make more money. And it might require, like you said, reading on the topic, reading on, how to be a good customer service representative, learning about how, customers think, what their behaviors are, what their attitudes are, and knowing how to approach them. I mean, it takes a little reading, it takes some time to develop yourself. And like you said, instead of maybe working for less, working for someone else, venturing out and starting your own venture, starting your own business, that's going to require that you build your own confidence, capabilities, knowledge base, all of these things to be able to branch out to do all of these wonderful things. I think about Bezos and he and his wife were just in their garage and came up with this idea of delivering packages to customers, and he turned out to be one of the richest men in the world just from starting in the garage delivering some packages, and now he had to learn how to become more efficient and more efficient and more efficient, and then how to market to those people, how to sell to the customers, and how to have great customer service to, fix some of the problems that may occur in business. And that just takes it takes you have to learn how to do that. It's just not going to come through osmosis. It is something that you have to learn. You have to go through that. You were talking about an article. I read one of the
Amazon,
articles about Costco.
Amazon and Costco are two of the most customer-driven companies in the world,
Hmm.
and I think the reason most companies don't focus on customer service is they don't know the financial gain.
Right.
If you were to track Amazon, they started in 1995. Their
Hmm.
profit this last year was $60 billion. They had a sales increase this last year of $60 billion. Okay. Amazon is better at customer service than any company in the world. My daughter wanted to order something on Amazon and she couldn't get into Prime. She lives in Malaysia
Mm-hmm.
and she uses my account. And by the way, here's my granddaughter. I'm out in Estes Park, Colorado, and say hi. And
Hi.
she's 4 years old. Her name is
Oh,
Mia. I'm
she's
out here taking care
beautiful.
of Mia and my daughter-in-law who's pregnant. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'm Wednesday. Say hi to Angela.
Hello.
Okay. Um, so, so if she's better at me at customer service than me, she's my number one granddaughter.
Yeah.
Oh, look
She's
at she's
beautiful.
got new shoes. Yeah. Um, so if you look at Costco, I invested. This is what happens when you really focus on customer service. I invested $1,000 each in 9 firms and made 2003. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and you want to come up here with me, man? And that $1,000 at Amazon is now worth about $124,000, and the
Mm-hmm.
$1,000 at Costco is worth about $39,000.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I also invested $1,000, which at that time was on a rocket ship going to the moon.
Right.
But in 2017, they didn't understand service recovery, and that stock is worth about $350.
Mm-hmm.
So what I found is that not all companies maintained their focus on customer service.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they did it for a couple of years and then they would lose sight of it. Sometimes they would focus on it for a longer period of time. The companies that are absolutely relentless is Amazon and Costco. Home Depot is very good. Home Depot had a CEO problem. This is probably going back about 20 years ago, and but they they were able to recover. But most firms just it's kind of a cool thing to do for a couple of years, and it's just too
Mm-hmm.
much work. Here's the problem: you got a lot of employees, a lot of employee turnover. So the attitude is, who cares? Do you know I live in Seattle and there's 100 million people living in Seattle. So if I lose 1 million people a month, who cares? I still got 100 million people. Well, maybe in
Mm-hmm.
Seattle there isn't 100 million people. Maybe there's only 2-3 million people living in the Seattle greater area.
Right.
So we need to take every customer we got. We have to treat them like a king and a queen. Now, if you got 6 people or 60 people or 600 people, you have to train the total workforce on customer service. As I
Mm-hmm.
said earlier, there's no educational system anywhere in the world that's going to teach them customer service. It's totally your responsibility. Our
Right.
programs, by the way, Angela, are not very expensive. So,
Mm-hmm.
to train these people, maybe 6 people or 60 people, is not very expensive. But you have to invest in those people to
Mm-hmm.
change. There's 4 things that we do: we change attitudes and behavior of the workforce. Right now, their attitude is that customer is a pain in the butt. He's screwing up my time. I had a hot date tonight. I wanted to leave at 6 o'clock. The guy came in at 5 minutes to 6. I need to get him out of the door fast. Um, the second thing we need to do is teach the skills of customer service. It's an
Mm-hmm.
art, whether it be speed, empowerment, service recovery. There's a whole lot of different skills. It's not complicated, but we have to have flawless execution. A customer can tell in 2 to 3 seconds whether you care or don't care.
Right.
They can look at your face, they can hear your tone of voice. Um, it's just amazing. I live in Minnesota,
Mm-hmm.
and in Minnesota, we call it Minnesota nice. Everybody smiles,
Mm-hmm.
everybody. And I was in Azerbaijan and the country of Georgia, and nobody smiled
Mm-hmm.
because I've been thinking about what's my new program to create, and I couldn't come up with something. And all of a sudden it clicked on me. Nobody smiles. I would go into stores and I'd see 20 people and nobody would ever look at you. Nobody would ever smile at you. And I don't know if, in other parts of the United States, I know in the South, the people are very hospitable.
Mm-hmm.
But the first step in customer service. So if I walked into any place of business and I make eye contact with 6 people, I expect 6 people to smile. I ask eye contact. It doesn't cost you any money at all. I have a program called Smile. It's a 1-session program teaching people how to smile. So there's a lot of different skills in customer service. People can go to my website, by the way, which is www.customer-don't forget the dash service.com, customer-service.com, or you could go to servicequalityinstitute.com and it'll get you to the same website. Take a look at some of our programs. But I think that every single business could significantly increase sales if they dramatically improve their customer service. By the way, some of the worst offenders of customer service are small business.
Oh,
So you would think that a 3-person company or a 25-person company would be better at customer service than anybody else. They tend to be worse. And if you go back to Jeff Bezos, he started with 2 people. And now they have, 1,650,000 employees.
Right.
But he understood customer service. My granddaughter got me off track, but yesterday in Malaysia, my daughter had the problem. So she called Amazon. Now, when you call Amazon, they have live people that take the call.
They do.
You go through a couple of security protocols, but you get live people. And everybody at Amazon is empowered. I have never, ever in my life had anybody at Amazon tell me no. Never.
Right.
The first thing we teach employees is no. Well, that's the worst thing for customer service. I'll learn how to say yes. Okay.
Yeah.
And they solved everything. They refunded the shipping charges they were charging. They're getting the gift out before Christmas. They just went like that. Okay. But and these are people that hired all over the world, but they have created a culture of superior customer service. Everybody's empowered. They manage their service recovery. So if they screw up, they will take care of you instantly, not a year later, not a month later. And so, $60 billion increase in sales. They have about $585 billion in revenue this last year. But why not all of us become an Amazon? Why not copy the principles of service leaders?
Right.
And one of the skills that I teach is speaking. You got to shrink the time by 90%. So when you're in Costco and there's 3 people ahead of you in the checkout counter, because they could have 10 checkout counters and they're all loaded with people. It only takes a few minutes to get through the checkout counter because they have 2 people at every counter.
Right.
They have one person that puts stuff on the counter. The other person's checking it through. It's really, really, really fast. Okay. They understand speed. If you buy anything at Costco, you can return it. I'm wearing a spider sweater. And in the past, they've sold a bunch of spider sweaters. Well, the interesting thing with Costco is you could take this sweater, one that I bought from Costco. And 3 years ago, I could take it back and get my money back. Now I got to give them the sweater. They have an absolute money back guarantee. And so the ideal thing, if you need anything, buy it from Costco because there's really a lifetime warranty. Now, the exception is computers. So you can't take a computer and 4 years later bring it back and say, I need a new computer. They go, I think
Right.
they have like 6 months or so on a computer.
Yeah.
Um, Most companies would think they're going to get ripped off by the customer,
Mm-hmm.
but I spend probably $300-400 a month at Costco.
Mm-hmm.
I buy my gas at whenever I can at Costco because I can save 90 cents a gallon.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Right.
so there's 9 principles that I teach that I think are
Mm-hmm.
critical if you're going to drive a service culture. Number one is you got to understand this is strategy. Wherever you are located, how badly
Mm-hmm.
do you want to own the market? How badly do you want to crush your competition? This is strategy, a tool that you can go underneath the radar
Mm-hmm.
and nobody's going to see you, and you can grab all the customers.
Right.
Number two, you got to reduce the friction.
Mm-hmm.
You got to make it really easy for people to buy. Um, it could be the hours you're open. It could be just tons of different things. Most companies, Angela, have a lot of stupid policies and stupid procedures and crazy stuff that makes it very difficult to buy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, uh, Amazon makes it easy to buy. Jeff Bezos said, if you want more of something, reduce the friction. Think about more of
Mm-hmm.
something, reduce the friction.
Right.
Well, a lot of companies have a lot of friction because they don't trust the customer. The
Mm-hmm.
third thing you got to have is empowerment. You
Mm-hmm.
got to make sure whether you got 10 employees or 40 employees, 400, that everybody's empowered to make a decision on the spot in favor of the
Right.
customer. Yesterday, my son took me out for dinner in Fort Collins, Colorado, and they have this favorite restaurant called Rio, which is Mexican food, and
Mm-hmm.
and I drink water. I like water, and so they had a small cup for water, and I said, "Can you give me a bigger glass?" And and the guy was just really hesitant. I said, "Can't you make an empowered decision?" And he says, "No, we follow the rules and policies here." I finally convinced him to get me a bigger glass. And he said, I need you to not get some other type of drink that is just only going to be water because you can go to these fountains and you can get in any kind of drink you want. And
Mm-hmm.
the cost of a cup might have been an extra 2 cents or something like that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Now, he finally gave me the bigger cup, but most people would have just accepted the no. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And these are real simple little skills. So empowerment is really critical. And then you got to have
Right.
speed. Today, people want things fast. They don't want to go slow. And most companies have a lot of crazy policies, stupid rules that just slow everything down. And then the
Mm-hmm.
mindset of all employees in the world is slow. I don't care where you are in the world, the mindset of all employees is slow. So they know that if they got 14 days, they wait until the 14th day, and then they say, I didn't know it was going to rain. I didn't know it was going to snow.
Yeah.
And so speed is how do you shrink the time by 90%? So if it normally took 14 days, how do I get it done in one day? That's speed. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Amazon, by the way, can deliver millions of products in one day, the same
Mm-hmm.
day. That's called
Mm-hmm.
speed. People love speed.
Yeah. Yes.
I think Amazon, by the way, invented speed. You fortunately live in Seattle. You're in the hands of Costco and Amazon. You should.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everybody living in Costco has seen two of the most successful companies in the world come right
Right.
out of your neck of the woods. The other skill that we got to do is we have to train the whole workforce. You,
Mm-hmm.
you can't just have a little email that you send out that says, we're going to build our company around customer service. Just take care of the customer. You have to teach them the skills.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't take, let's say, a 24-year-old, dip them in a magic program that's going to last maybe 3 sessions, 2 hours each, and expect them to change their whole life and become
Mm-hmm.
perfect. Just not going to happen.
Right.
What you got to have is something new, fresh, constant. Just moving it to a faster pace. Okay. If you have the
Mm-hmm.
best employees in the market, you'll own the market.
Right.
So our
Right.
goal is to encourage companies to build high-performing, customer-driven employees. And then the next skill that you got to teach is service recovery.
Mm-hmm.
When you screw up, how do you make the customer whole? And we all
Yeah.
screw up. Every
Right.
one of us makes a mistake sometime during the day, for sure during the week. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You have a choice. You could say, good times are customer. because I live in Seattle and there's a million people that are coming in every day. No, we have to focus on keeping the customers.
Right.
So when you screw up, there's 4 skills that you got to learn. Act quickly. All this has to happen in 60 seconds. Number 2, you got to take responsibility. And in the U.S., most people lie. They just put the blame on somebody else, or they just blow smoke up the person's, they lie. So all you got to do is take responsibility. Just say, hey, we screwed up. Everybody knows that you screwed up. Why not just say it? Okay. But we don't want to lose face. And the third thing is you got to be empowered. That means if you got 25 employees, all 25 have to make a fast, empowered decision. And then the fourth thing is you got to compensate. Give them something of value where they say, whoa, this is really cool. So that restaurant, wasn't really a script. It was just simple empowerment thing. But they could say, hey, why don't you take a complimentary drink on me? I mean, what's the cost? 10 cents? 15 cents? Okay. So all of us understand we all have products and services that have high value, low cost. And Jake on my staff, who's shipping, he's empowered to do whatever he needs to do if we screw up. Okay. And he'll give away free stuff. It's not a problem. No big deal.
Right.
And then the next skill that we got to do is reduce costs. The problem is that many organizations, we have too many employees. We have too many underperforming employees. We have too many stupid policies and rules and procedures. We have to reduce costs dramatically. Price is very important. How are you going to market your product? Keep your costs lower than anybody else. Amazon and Costco understand price. Nobody goes to Amazon and says, I'm willing to pay as much as I can for a computer or for whatever it is, a watch, whatever it is, or a book. They want a good price. The same for Costco. And price is very, very important. And then the last item is we need to measure what we're doing. Now, the problem in the United States is that companies spend all their money doing surveys. HR people really love surveys. We love to survey a person every time they enter our store, every time they do any kind of an interaction. The problem is the company doesn't do anything with the survey results. So, you're just wasting your time completing the survey. But everybody does a survey because it's cool. Everybody else does it, so we might as well do it too. The only thing is that nobody does anything with the survey results and nothing changes.
Wow.
So those are the steps that we think are critical. Oh, one last one that I forgot to mention, Angela, is we have to use the customer's name. We have to remember the customer. When they pay by credit card, all you got to do is the credit card, and it says John Scholl. So you could say, thank you, Mr. Scholl, for buying today. Or, John, thank you for coming. Appreciate it. 80% of our customers are repeat customers.
Yes.
So when you go to your coffee shop, when you go to your local restaurant, when you go to your bank, does everybody know your name? Does everybody use your name? When I go to my bank, I bank at Premier Bank in Blue. So everybody knows who I am. Everybody says, hi, John. Hello, John. And I know everybody in the bank. And I call them by their name.
Right.
It doesn't cost any money to remember the customer's name and use the customer's name. Your name is the most precious possession. Angela, if you went to your dry cleaners and you probably have a dry cleaner you used for 10 years. Am I correct?
No, I still have some things that I take. Still do.
Okay, but I mean, you've been at the same dry cleaner for probably 10 years. Am I correct?
Yeah.
So when you walk in, does that employee say, hi, Angela?
Yep, they know my name.
But all the dry cleaners I've been to, you got to give them your name. Nobody remembers your name because nobody gives a damn. Okay. And so if you go to your your local supermarket. People go to a supermarket once a week at the minimum.
Mm-hmm.
Do they ever use your name? Now there's a small company called Amazon that uses your name
Mm-hmm.
percent of the time.
Yes. Yes.
So, but most people don't want $60 billion in profit. Most people don't want to have an increase in sales of $60 billion. So
Yeah.
these are the principles of service leaders, and it's the easiest way to increase sales.
Mm-hmm. It is. It's just amazing that they don't get the concept that if you continue to have repeat customers, those customers are going to be your best referral source, and it's going to double and triple and quadruple and continue to grow because they are getting that service and being treated like a king or a queen. I know I've gone to certain stores to buy clothing. Wasn't the cheapest place, but I was treated like a queen. They had like a little snack there. They had something to drink there. They would slowly bring, things to me and show them to me and say, "How do you like this?" And I loved that treatment. It was worth going in there, probably even paying more money, but they knew my name. They knew my patterns of what I liked. So they had everything all kind of set aside to show it to me. And I just sat there and it was just so wonderful. I miss that kind of service. You want me to spend all this money? You don't even look at me. They just, don't even recommend a product. You don't do anything. I'm out of there. It's like, I don't need to shop here. I don't need to spend my money here. There are like 100 other competitors out here. And I think that's why so many people just buy
I
online now.
think,
It's service.
Angela,
Hmm.
I think COVID gave most companies an excuse to
Yeah.
say, goodbye, Mr. Customer. And
Hmm.
COVID's over.
Yeah, it
And
is.
now, if your goal is to own and dominate the market, you want to really become wealthier. You want to increase your income. You want to increase sales. Taking care of the customer and treating them like a king or a queen is the
Right.
easiest way to do that. But again, your employee, 99% of all the customer contact is with your frontline employee. That
Hmm.
individual, regardless of where you are, is the least valued, least trained, least appreciated, least paid. Okay.
Yeah. And
So
should be much more.
that
Yeah.
individual has your customer in the palms of your hand. Okay. So
Right.
it's important to take those 10 employees or 20 employees, however, or just yourself. If you went to our website, customer-service.com, we have 12 online learning programs that you can participate in. You can
Hmm.
earn 2 degrees. You can earn on our website for a tiny fraction of what it would take to go to a university or a higher education institution. Um,
Hmm.
you got to be willing to invest in yourself. Okay.
Right.
Again, the greatest asset we got is ourselves, our mind.
Hmm.
Okay. And
Hmm.
what are we going to do to build ourselves?
Right.
Because the more women will spend probably $50 a month on makeup and hair and maybe more.
Right.
But what are we doing to take care of our mind? Okay, to
Right.
build our mind. Okay,
Right.
it doesn't. I grew up very poor. I didn't have any money, and I didn't like being poor. And so that's why I wanted to be a millionaire by age 30.
Hmm.
And and by the way, one thing I would always encourage your viewers is to do a net worth statement on the 1st of January every year for the rest of your life. It's the only way to track your success.
Right.
Your income is
Right.
totally irrelevant. It's what are you doing to increase your net worth? And
Yes.
I've been doing a net worth statement since 1971, the first one when I had, like $2,000 net worth or something like that. And
Hmm.
so it's, and I I do it for my grandchildren. I do their net worth statements every year. I do it for my daughter. My son is a little bit rebellious. That's who I'm out here with in Estes Park, Colorado. So he does really well financially, but because I suggest and he doesn't, he won't do it. I used to do it for years for him, but that's a way to really track your success financially.
Mm-hmm.
And my daughter's a missionary. She works for God.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't get paid a salary. She's totally dependent
Right.
on donations. And success is doing what you love.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes, it is.
everybody has different dreams and different goals. And money is not that important to everybody. Okay.
Right.
And so you want to focus on your dreams.
Right.
Most successful people said, if you love what you're doing, it's not a job.
That's true. That's true. And I've had guests on talking about, reimagine yourself. Find what it is that really makes you happy because you have to spend so many hours contributing your time, your energy, your thoughts, your abilities for a job. Make sure it's something that you really enjoy doing and you really want to do. If not, you really are hurting yourself. And I can see why you can't smile because you really don't want to be there. Well, you shouldn't be there. But we can, like you said, they can go to the institute, learn the customer service, learn how to build their net worth, learn how to make customers happy, and they can be successful in that business. And then they will be smiling naturally, just smiling, at every moment, every day. But a lot of people are just so unhappy because they are pigeoned into something that they don't want to be doing, and that's unfortunate. That's the first, that's another step.
So every viewer could easily increase their income at least $100 a month
Hmm.
if they follow some of the stuff I've been talking about. Could be
Right.
200 a month, could be a 500 a month, $1,000 a month.
More.
Uh,
Hmm.
it's really not complicated.
Right.
So if you put me into anybody's position anywhere in the world, it would only take me a few months before I'd be at the top.
Hmm.
And I
Hmm.
first have to learn whatever it is that you're doing, but I'd make more money. I'd be moving right up the ladder.
Right.
And
Right.
so I'm not smarter than anybody else.
Hmm.
You know, I have really good work habits. I
Hmm.
have discipline. I have very clearly defined goals. I have my goals book is in the other room where I have all my goals for the year all laid out. And by January 1 of this year, all my goals will be crystallized for the company, family, financial, mental, social,
Hmm.
uh, religious. All my goals are clearly defined. Um, some of the goals are very difficult to reach. My most difficult goal that I've had the most difficult time reaching is I'd like to weigh 173 pounds. And when I left Minneapolis to Colorado, I weighed 183 pounds. I'm 10 pounds overweight. So it is, I like food, and it's a problem. But that's my most difficult goal. And
Yeah.
but you
Yeah.
got to have really clearly defined goals, and you're not going
Right.
to reach all your goals. But the goals got to be in writing. They
Hmm.
got to be very specific. They got to have target dates. So you can't have a goal that says I want to lose weight. Who gives a damn? You lose 1 pound and you've achieved your goal.
Yeah.
What is your goal? If you weigh 190 pounds and you want to get to 180, that's a very concrete goal. And when do you want to have that accomplished by? Or
Yep.
maybe you're a female and you weigh 132 pounds. And you want to get to 120 pounds. Um, um, so we got to look at the goals in our entire life.
Hmm.
Family. If you get divorced, you lose half your money. Okay, and
Hmm.
it screws up your whole life. I've been married for 48 years. Uh,
Oh,
Second
congratulations.
thing is mental. What are you doing to build your mind? Okay, you got to
Right.
constantly. The third thing you got to focus on his social skills. What are you doing? It's your physical appearance. How do you dress? People
Right.
today, I personally think, look like slobs. Both men and women. I mean, if I was a woman looking for a man, there's not a lot of good quality men out there from a physical appearance. If I was
Yeah.
a man looking for a female, there's not really good choices out there.
A lot of things
So,
have changed, John. A lot of things have
and
changed.
the other one area is physical. What are you doing to build yourself physically? If you die,
And stay healthy.
I just had a text 2 days ago from a major on one of the wealthiest men, and he said he just had some stents put into his veins. And he said your physical health is the most important thing.
It really is.
So if you don't take care of your body,
Yeah. Well, we're
you
going to
could
have to
die
wrap
early.
up, John.
Okay? So you got to look, and then
Yeah.
financially, okay.
Yeah. So
anyhow, I'd love to be of help to anybody. My cell phone, Angela, if anybody wants to call me, is 612 382
yes.
5636. 612 382 5636. So people can call me. My email is john@servicequality.com. That's again, john@servicequality.com. My website is servicequalityinstitute.com or customer-service.com. It'll lead you to the same area. So if I can be of any help to any of your viewers and listeners, I'd be delighted to do that. We're
And
very
we want to
global
make
company. We're all
sure,
over the world.
we want to make sure that that you all write those numbers down and get your staff into the Institute so they can learn customer service, be able to be successful, be able to increase those profits in your organization. Thank you for tuning in to A Sharp Outlook. And again, stay informed. I want to thank you for joining us on A Sharp Outlook. We have been informed and energized to take the next steps. We have posted links to websites and videos to learn more on today's topic. Please join us again next week for another thought-provoking conversation right here on K4 HD Radio and Talk 4 TV. Listen to the podcast on all the podcast apps. And until next week, stay informed.